shut up. It's not your time yet. You need to be introduced first. What's going on? Ladies and gentlemen, no, we're not going to edit anything out. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Joe Begley podcast. Today we have a little bit of a special edition out on the road in San Francisco, California, doing some pretty hot outdoor shows. They're pretty hot. I mean, the crowds were hot. It was cold as fuck, muggy as fuck outside. Today is a very special guest. We have the great and powerful Zach Lord here with us today. How you doing, bud?
Thank you.
Yes.
Doing great.
Feeling great, babe. I'm on Zach's couch right now. We're doing the podcast here. I'm also sleeping on this couch.
Welcome, everyone.
Yeah, welcome to Zach's apartment. This is a fucking beautiful podcast studio, dude.
Thank you, yeah.
This is great.
All I need are better mics and another section of the couch.
I think you've got the equipment part of the equation covered pretty well, dude. The equipment is ripping and roaring. Zach has like 17 cameras. He's ready, fully prepared.
Just for this.
Just for this.
Just for this. I don't even record my own sets. It's just when Beggs is in town.
Yeah.
Just do a 4-hour podcast. Is that what we're doing
I
today?
think we're going to do a 4-hour
podcast.
The people who watch, the 17 people that watch the video version of the podcast are going to be absolutely thrilled with the quality today. It's going to be great.
Out of the 17 out of like 75,000 subscribers you have?
Yes. Yeah. YouTube numbers are not looking good right now, but that's okay. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll make it work. All right. So today's a very big day in San Francisco, though. Why am I I'm talking like I'm fucking hosting something. Like today on the podcast, we have the great, powerful Zach Lord. No. Let's fucking just run it, dude.
Yeah.
Run it. We're
Just
here.
do better.
We're doing better.
Just do better.
Fucking do it as best as we can, dude. You and your gold-plated fucking Apple Watch. We're going to hold it down today.
I'm kind of glad that you got the Truly tees because the gold matches everything I wear.
Nice.
It's good.
Very nice, dude. Hell yeah. I don't know. We're on a bit of a bender, would you say?
I would, yeah.
So this is my fourth day here?
Yeah.
Fourth day.
If you have to count, you know you're on a bender.
Yeah. The worst part is I flew in on like a Tuesday. And I got in, and I was already pretty drunk from being on the airplane because, we were just chatting it up with the stewardess and ended up just getting loaded on beverages on the way here.
If it's a 6-hour flight, you have to do that.
You got to do it.
Nobody's ever been over 21 and been sober on a 6-hour flight.
There were some pretty fucking sober people on there. Yeah. Nerds, absolutely. Dude, I was hammering drinks on the plane on the way here. Probably had about 4 or 5 beers in the airplane. Few beers before we got on, and then I had a couple vodkas in the bag.
Do you still bring like the baby vodkas?
I brought one because I was we're moving out of my parents' house. My parents just sold their house, and I was like cleaning it out. In one of my drawers, I found a little nip of Tito's, and I definitely threw that in the bag.
I once did I did some chocolate mushrooms on an airplane. It wasn't as bad as you'd expect, but it also wasn't great.
It's not the best move.
I also I fucked up because I didn't have the window seat. I feel like if you have the window seat, it could be worth it. Where like you're looking out the window,
yeah,
and I'm just like looking at a bunch of fat fucking assholes on the plane. Not what you want to see when you're on mushrooms.
Not the best, dude. I mean, I've done pretty much the exact same thing before. Where I'm talking about the exact same chocolates.
Yeah,
and I was like, we were in the phase where we were microdosing a lot, probably like twice a week, feeling really good, really chilled. And then I fucking ate what I thought was a microdose right before I got on the plane. And I was like tripping at the San Jose airport. And this was like, I don't know, this was sort of pandemic times. So I fucking just got on the plane and just had to mask up for 4 hours. It was one of the worst experiences of my entire life.
The mask is brutal. Like I never complain about wearing a mask when it's like a quick thing. Wearing a mask for an extended period of time, especially if it's the disposable ones, is a fucking nightmare. Like your whole face is chafed by the end of it.
It's the worst.
I kind of fucked up the last time I flew. It was last weekend after a wedding, and I had like great hangover anxiety going into it. So I'm just like prepping myself for a panic attack on the flight. I slept for 4 hours the night before. Not my best idea. And it was Alaska, so of course it's like the tiny plane. They make the announcement like, oh, anybody who needs to anybody with a carry-on that's boarding late, you should check your bag now. And I went up, I'm like, okay, I'll check it. Half of the time they take your bag, and that's where I feel safe. Sometimes you just throw the tag, and I'm like, yeah, just leave it at the gate when you board. I didn't trust that. So I got the tag. I got like the tag for my checked bag, and I didn't think about this. Like I was freaking out when I was on the plane because ultimately, like when I got to the gate, I was like, fuck this. I'm one of the first people to board. There's going to be room. I don't want to check my bag.
100%.
I figured I volunteered to check my bag. I could back out any time I want.
Yeah.
So I go on the plane, and the flight attendant is like, oh, is that a checked bag? And I panicked. I was like, no. And she's like, there's a tag on it. I'm like, from last flight. It's from the last flight. So I just keep going, and I, put it in the overhead container. And then I'm sitting down and I'm thinking, like, they definitely do some sort of inventory check.
And they think they lost your bag.
Yeah,
for sure. They're freaking out or not freaking out at all because they lost the bag. They're just like,
yeah, they're
like, we lost 15 of them today already.
Like, that's our business model. We lose as many bags as possible.
Totally.
So I'm on the plane, very anxious, a little edible, and I just see that, like, it's taking a while for the plane to start, and I keep making eye contact with the fucking flight attendant who boarded me. I'm like, she knows. She fucking knows. And then the plane took off. They didn't say anything. So they either have no inventory check or they do not give a fuck.
Totally.
So I'm never checking a bag.
That fucking pisses me off because I used to do like a pretty good amount of backpacking, and you get the backpack that you can bring on, and then you get the overhead bag, right? And that's the fucking best. So I had that bag, and those zip together. So they look like one bag when you're fucking walking around, but then you put them into two and you can get on the plane.
Perfect.
And it was the fucking best. Because you'd fucking scan it through, you get through, and then you get on the plane, and you never have to wait at fucking baggage terminal ever, which is great. Because I just took a plane in, and everybody was fucking pissed. Because they're like, hey, today the baggage terminal is actually going to be at Terminal B, so you're going to need to take, like, the fucking...
air train.
Yeah, the air train. They're all flying around trying to figure it out. But, dude, here's what fucking pisses me off about that. You get there, right? And people like my mom, who would always want to check a bag when we go fly, they got to pay $50 to check a bag. So they take their bag and try to shrink it down and get it on the plane. And me, who fucking never wants to check a bag ever. Now, my mom's bag, who, like, she wanted to check originally, is on the plane with her, and she's annoyed about it. Mine, who I wanted on the plane with me, is underneath checked. And it fucking... everybody fucking loses. It's the worst.
If you lose checked bags once, you never want to do it again.
Have you lost one before?
When I was a kid, my dad, my brother, and I went on a trip. And we went on, like, this trip where we, like, flew to the East Coast, and, like, part of it was visiting family, but we also, like, had this, like, agenda of, like, going to ballparks. We went to, like, 5 ballparks, but the first place we flew into, I think, was BWI, and they lost our bags. It's like, well, we're driving to fucking Philadelphia tomorrow to see the Phillies play. We kind of need these fucking bags.
100%.
We can't come back to BWI and get them
My
tomorrow.
Phillies hat is in the bag. We need it very bad. Sorry, go on.
I have my green monster costume in my checked bag. I'm screwed. But, like, it's just such an inconvenience because, like, you have to buy clothes.
Yeah.
You have to purchase clothing. And, like, they don't, like, it's like that bit that Brian Regan has where, like, they have, like, the bag of essentials.
Yeah.
If they lose your bag, they just give you the bag of essentials. It's like, get the fuck out of here. I want my own clothes.
How much money do they give you for it?
I don't know. I was like 8 years old when that happened.
There's no way they can pay you out because they would start going through the list of, like, shit that's in your bag. They'd be like, no, there was no camera in that bag.
Like, yeah. I'm just like, well, you guys owe me $14,000. I brought all my nicest camera gear.
Yeah, I would make that up. I would just be like, Zach, what would you put in a checked bag? Because for me, it's just like old fucking T-shirts.
I send you my receipts so you can back it up.
Yeah,
we just help defraud the airline.
Dude,
now that we know that they have no inventory policy, it would be so easy to do that. This is what you would do.
Mm-hmm.
And it would have worked because I brought a checked bag on the plane.
I love it. We're 20 minutes into the podcast. We're already discussing how we would do insurance fraud.
Yeah.
Let's fucking rock.
Insurance fraud, or just, I mean, if the airlines have to shoulder the brunt of it, worth it.
Fuck them all.
If we screw them over enough, they'll just get bailed out again. So this is what we do. So we both fly. Yeah. We pay no attention to each other. We don't know each other. Mm-hmm. But we buy the seats, so we board at the same time. I put my checked bag. I never put it next to the thing. There's no cameras on the gate. Mm-hmm. No cameras. Even though 9/11 happened, no cameras on the gate. None. I've never seen one. So you're right behind me. I just slide my checked bag to you. You steal my checked bag, basically. You take it onto the plane, rip the tag off. We can't have a nosy flight attendant fucking this up. And then afterwards, I'm like, hey, I'm missing my checked bag. Yeah. I have $30,000 of camera equipment in it. And then
this will most definitely work.
Yeah, it's like a bank robbery, only it's going to work. and for significantly less money.
Yeah, checked bag fraud.
A lot could go wrong. Like if you get caught with it, you have to eat that jail time.
We can't do mushrooms before this one. No,
unless we get the window seat.
Crime is not easy when you're on drugs, contrary to popular belief.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I tried to sneak into outside lands, and let's just say I was historically fucked in the head.
Do you know what you do for outside lands? I've known multiple people who have done this, and it totally works.
Yeah.
Just get a yellow vest.
No way.
Yeah, just get like a yellow reflector vest. You can walk. I've seen videos on this. Like, if you wear a yellow reflector vest, you can walk into any building in the world, and nobody thinks twice about it.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, there's this video I saw on TikTok of these guys that, like they snuck into like an NBA game and were like near the floor. They snuck into Disneyland. They snuck into like all these places. They just wear a yellow vest and walk through entryways confidently. They're like, oh, they're clearly here for work. Probably helps if you're white too, but
yeah. No, dude. I mean, big black guys in yellow reflector vests, I feel like, are even more intimidating. Or like a spicy Latina woman, you know, it's just gonna you just got to do it, but you yell at people as you go through.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you're wearing the yellow vest and anyone gives you trouble, you have to double down and be like, I'm trying to do my fucking job, okay? Like if you're like, no, I promise I work here, you're done.
Yeah.
Nobody who works a place who's like busy and stressed out would be like, no, I promise I work here. They'd be like, get the fuck out of my way. I have to make sure this show runs smoothly.
We should do this.
Yeah.
Well, you bought your outside lands tickets in time.
Right. And also if we what I've thought about doing is getting like, because I have like good looking cameras, just go to sporting events with like some bullshit thing laminated on like a lanyard and just have a camera and just walk onto the field, sit down and take pictures like you're a cameraman.
That'd be fucking great.
That'd be unreal.
Press passes.
Yeah.
I tried to do that. I was at UVM when Bernie ran for president of the United States. And on the day that he ran, like announced his running, I basically just like pretended to be somebody in the press and just like tried to get as far up as I possibly could in the Bernie Sanders fucking press ring.
How far'd you get?
Bernie Sanders press secretary. I got all the way up to her. She would not return my calls, but I got her phone. I have her phone number. We should call her later.
Just ask her a bunch of stupid questions live.
I don't even work there anymore. This was like 5 years ago, but it was crazy.
You're just like, what is socialism? She's like, you're not a reporter. Then you're like, I like socialism. She's like, all right, maybe you're good.
Maybe we'll work.
Maybe you're one of the good ones. She's like, what network do you work for? You're like, QAnon. She's like, get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here. Dude, the Qs are a lot of fun. Some of my friends have been corrupted by the QAnon back home.
I think it's crazy to like the press secretaries that they had at the White House during Trump's like presidency. The hanging curveballs that they would give this guy. Yeah. Like, do you remember like when he was calling it the Chinese virus?
Yeah.
There was one like press secretary where like there's a good one like, hey, probably shouldn't make the virus about race. We should worry about dealing with it head on.
Yeah.
And then the QAnon lady, or I think it was like America Online News or something like that, OAN, also pretty much the same thing. She was like, do you think it'd be racist to call Chinese food Chinese? It's from China. It's just like, Jesus Christ. That's like the easiest question you could give Trump. I'm sure he's like, yes, that would be fine. I love Chinese food.
Dude, speaking of the virus, today's an important day, dude. This is the first day without the masks.
Big day.
This is fucking great.
Yeah.
It feels awesome.
I'm pumped.
Old Gavin Newsom's going to make you guys wear the masks until June 15th. I just looked it up.
Like June 15th, 2025.
Yeah,
like,
it's going to be great.
We're going to be wearing masks like when there's a new pandemic.
I just like this because I feel like just everyone had a very negative reaction to everything yesterday, just because like that was when the story came out where there's like we're not wearing masks anymore, and the whole country like basically like flipped out on both sides of the other. Like half the people were like, we're not ready yet, we can't do it, my children, and then the other half are just like I don't know, just like basically shitting on them for not doing it sooner. I am personally just so fucking glad right now though that like it's not Donnie T giving this news, because I feel like the reaction would have been even crazier. Like people would have, half the country would have just been like, no, we're not taking the masks off. Like
one thing that's really annoying is that like people have just really been picking and choosing when they do and do not like what the CDC has to say.
Yeah.
Like there's like early
well,
on.
the CDC has been picking and choosing when they do and do not like what they have to say.
Like, I mean, it's just like it's frustrating because like one day the CDC is like wear a mask. And everyone who's anti-mask is like, fuck that. What does the CDC, like, what does the Center for Disease Control know about disease more than me? I don't need to wear a mask. And then the CDC is like, oh, we may have been overhyping or overestimating COVID deaths. And then those people are like, the CDC's never wrong. They're never wrong. And then now they're like, like everyone else who is like, listen to the CDC, wear a mask. And the people, and now the CDC is like, you don't need to wear a mask. They immediately turn on the CDC.
Yeah.
Because they still think that they should wear a mask. No one's telling you that you can't wear a mask. But if someone's fucking vaccinated, it's preposterous to think that they should need to still wear a mask.
It's fucking insane. Yeah.
And I wouldn't have taken that standpoint until the Center for Disease Control validated it.
Yeah.
Like, where else could you go for a better source?
It's like, dude, you're safe? You're the king of it because you've already had it. Yeah. And you've had the vaccine.
I'm the king of COVID.
Both doses. you literally could not get it. Unless you even if you went into the ward, like the fucking corona ward, and just like started making out with a bunch of old people, like you'd be good to go, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I already do that. Nice. How do you think I got it?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think, yeah. I don't know. It did piss me off though, like when other people got COVID and like they were fine. And then they're like, there's nothing to worry about. Like I got COVID. I never thought I was going to die, but I was very sick for like 10 days. Bad headaches the whole time.
You were sick for a whole 10 days?
Oh, yeah.
I was sick for 2 days.
If I wasn't quarantining with 3 other people who had COVID and like just also busy with work, like it would have sucked. If I was just alone in my apartment, it would have been miserable. But like it helps to play Halo with mutually COVID sick people.
Yeah.
But like after I had it, like I don't doubt that if I had that when I was 60, it would fucking wreck my shit.
Yeah.
Like,
of course.
It's fine when you're 28, but like it's weird. Like it's not like a regular flu. Like you feel weird for a while.
I felt completely fine.
Really?
I was like,
you're in way better shape than me, so that
I am in pretty good shape. I drink way too much, but aside from that, we're fucking cruising. Dude, I was it also didn't help that I was so fucking hungover the day that I got it. Because I drank quite a bit the night before I got it.
Same.
And so I woke up and I was puking because I was hungover. And then I also had the coronavirus. So I was just a mess. And then that day was terrible. The next day was like not too bad. And then it was 8 days of just like, well, I guess I got to hang out by myself for 8 days and just. It was good, you know. It was like a juice cleanse for me, dude. I fucking. It's great.
COVID, healthiest thing that's ever happened to me.
It probably was, dude. It probably increased my life expectancy. I didn't do sober January this year, so it was like my 2 weeks in April dry January. Out. Like,
I would say the worst part about having COVID for me was I made a huge mistake. When I was on the phone with my mom a few days after I got COVID, I told her that I had it. 4 times a day, Jewish mother just calling me like, how are you doing? Are you feeling better? I'm worried about you. I'm like 28 years old. I have COVID. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be fine. Stop calling me.
Well, like we said, we're selling our house. So I was down at my house by myself, and the house that we were selling basically just like quarantined up in there. And fucking my mom just kept coming over to check up on me. And I was like, Mom, don't come in the fucking house. And she'd be like, she would come over, and she had 1 dose of the vaccine, but she'd walk in the house and just be like, do you need anything? I'd be like, Mom, get the fuck out. I legit thought I was going to give it to her for sure.
Yeah. I mean, however you're feeling her coming into the house, A, it's not going to help you. And B, she's way more at risk.
Because my friend Dan did the same thing. Like, he got COVID, which that was my historic bullet dodge of the coronavirus season. We had basically 2 times where everyone got it, and I was invited, and I didn't show up. There was once where all my friends went to the beach, and they went to some like beach bar, and I was just like, I fucking can't. I got fired the day before from my job, so I didn't go to the beach. And then everybody got it. I was just being depressed at home, and then that dodged the bullet. And then the other time,
wait, real quick.
Yeah,
you losing your job and not go to the party for that reason, like you would have gotten COVID. That's like the people who like got like fired from their job at the World Trade Centers on September 10th.
Yeah, except way less risky.
Way less risky.
Better survival rate for sure. But then the other one, dude. I mean, I fucking went out with a few of my boys, and it was like me, my brother, two of our friends. We went out and got dinner. We were at dinner, and I like sitting there, and after dinner, everybody's like, "Hey, we're going to this party," and I go, "I'll meet you guys there." Me and my brother went home. We fell asleep on the couch, and everybody else got it. Every single person at the party got it.
I feel like a lot of people our age, if they didn't get it, they had like a remarkably close call.
Yeah, 100%.
Like before I got it, there were a number of instances where I'm like, the next day I'm like, I shouldn't have done that. Like I should not. I went on a party bus for Halloween in LA.
This year?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. 35 people. I'm almost worried.
You're like ratting yourself out right now.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Big time. We're gonna have to edit this part out. I'm gonna like lose my job or something. They're gonna be like, "That's an outside."
It wasn't
risk.
talking about doing mushrooms at the beginning of the podcast. That's gonna cost you your job.
Yeah, we're gonna have to edit a lot of stuff out.
Are we gonna have to edit this?
I don't know. We'll talk about it later.
I don't know why you would bring something up immediately as the first thing you're going to talk about if we have to edit it out.
I don't think the mushrooms are an issue. I think most people our age at this point do a little bit. It's not like I was tripping balls on the airplane. A little bit. No anxiety on the airplane. A little bit of mushrooms.
This is great, Zach.
Yeah. Yeah. Downfall of Zach.
If you lose your job,
watch this podcast get like 30 views.
One of them's
one of them is my boss.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, well, I lost my job for a podcast that never even went viral.
Worst thing ever.
That would be the shittiest.
We actually gonna have to edit this?
I don't think so. I have
okay. We're rocking and roll.
I have other I have jokes on YouTube that are way worse. Like,
totally.
I mean,
podcasts are like way more like confessional though, where people just like I've heard people straight up admit to crimes on this.
They're like, yeah, I robbed a McDonald's.
Yeah.
It's like, how long ago was this? Last week.
No.
It was last week. I've been waiting to tell somebody.
Zach's fucking COVID confessional.
But yeah, now that I already said it, so like I was visiting my friend in LA. He's like, do you want to come with this party bus? And it's like, I'll do it. The alternative to that is sitting alone in my friend's place.
Yeah.
On Halloween when all of my other friends are doing it, and like peer pressure is never a great excuse. Somewhat of an excuse. Somewhat of an excuse. Did that? Not one person had COVID. It was perfect.
Really?
It was fantastic.
35 people on the bus.
35 people on the bus. Like statistically, huge anomaly.
Yeah.
Huge. And the thing is, like, when that's like the craziest part about COVID and like the gatherings and like that is like anytime you go to like a risky gathering, you know that everybody there already has like a huge appetite for risk.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going to a party with a bunch of people who've been doing it by the book the whole time. It's almost a guarantee that not one fucking person at that social gathering has been safe at all.
Well, dude, those are the people that I know that got super sick that ended up getting it because they hung out with people who were also like very safe. And so none of them like had antibodies or anything, right? Like all of my boys are fucking degenerates. So like after they all got it, they were the safest people I could have been hanging out with. And there was no chance that I was going to get it from them.
Yeah.
And then I got it from going to a fucking comedy show with a bunch of people that like, I don't know, they were kind of risk takers too, but it seemed like it was a lot of people's like first show in a while. And a bunch of people I know, they got pretty fucking sick. Got it just from like hanging out with people that really seemed to be not doing anything at all. Like got it at like a rest stop or something,
That sucks.
Yeah, it's completely ass.
Oh man, what a fucking weird year it's been.
Yeah, no shit. I mean,
yeah, like it's just like,
well, you stayed here, dude. I left. I bailed out of California in June.
Yeah,
and you could say it was or was not the right call, but fucking, how was it for the last year here? Was there any points where you're just like, fuck this place? Or
the only time where I was like really fed up, and I guess a large portion of it, I actually had COVID, so I wouldn't have been going out and doing anything anyways.
Mm-hmm.
With like the first shutdown, we were hanging out. We were just like, all right, time to just like write new material so like we can do comedy and like with a higher velocity when things open up. Mm-hmm. Lose some fucking weight since I can't go out to dinner anymore, shit like that. Like, there was a like productive time, and then things reopened, and like in an outdoor capacity. And
that was like June, right? Like mid-June.
Yeah, it was like late June, early July. And then I was hosting that weekly show with Kabir, and then getting some other gigs. And things were great. I was like loving the comedy. People are hanging out outdoors. At the time I was single, so I was going on like outdoor hinge dates. Then sure enough, cases spike after Thanksgiving, as anyone would have guessed. And then they shut everything back down again. Still single at the time. It's like, okay, cool. Now I can't go on any dates.
Yeah.
I can't do any shows. And I have COVID.
That's ass. Yeah, that's when I went, like, right after Thanksgiving, I basically went up to Vermont and didn't leave for 4 months because I was just like, dude, this whole thing's... That's when everything was... There was, like, 300,000 new cases a day, and I was like, fuck this. It's like, I don't want to fucking risk it right now. It's too crazy. I don't want to give it to my parents, so I'm done. I'm shutting it the fuck down.
I just remember, like, what it was like in, like, early February when, like, the news was coming out about COVID. Mm-hmm. Like... It's crazy how quickly. I remember I was at work and we were talking about this. I hadn't even heard of it at that point.
Yeah,
like it was just in China, and of course like
China.
Yeah, of course it was like the numbers were being downplayed, so we had no idea how severe it was.
Yeah, because we all know that China has 6 cases of COVID in the whole country right now. It seems very reasonable and reliable.
Is that actually the?
They're claiming there's no cases, and there really hasn't been cases for a year.
I thought it was interesting that like how easily refuted their numbers were by telco data, where it was like, oh yeah, you guys have only had 20,000 deaths. Why did 250 phones go inactive?
Wait, what?
In 3 months.
No shit.
Yeah, that's how the 250 was an arbitrary number.
What do you mean?
When people die, they don't need a cell phone anymore.
Yeah.
So if you look at the cell phone activity in China, the drop off in cell phone usage versus like the line specifically, versus the deaths they reported were incongruent.
No shit.
Yeah,
that's fucking crazy.
I mean, like it makes sense. Like, I mean, at this point, like there's like with so much technology, like you can't hide shit like that. 100,000 people die, you can't sweep it under the rug.
Yeah,
it's gonna be known.
Yeah.
Forgot what I was saying originally before we started talking about China, which is a rabbit hole I don't think either of us want to get into. COVID in China.
Oh, well, we both have very TikTok accounts that are doing very well. We want to keep them. All hail the CCP.
We get the wrong administrator on TikTok. They're just like, well, I don't like how we talked about the telco data. That's gonna it's gonna raise a lot of questions.
Yeah.
They're banned from TikTok.
Dude, people get banned all the fucking time for talking about the Chinese government. It's insane.
I do not.
Have you seen the woman that talked about the Uyghurs and like the Uyghur Muslim internment camps?
I did not see it.
Okay, so she was talking about it on TikTok, and they basically... This is why like the cancel culture thing is really scary to me, right? Because she was talking basically about the Uyghur internment camps, and they flagged her for like hate speech about something else on like some other video where they're just like, oh, this is a racist account, and they pointed to like a couple other videos.
Shadow
and they were
banned
like,
her?
No, they didn't shadow ban her. They just like explicitly banned her.
Oh wow.
Which is their mistake. That's where they fucked up, because when you explicitly ban someone, they can go, hey, they took down my account. This is what they said it was, but this is what I was talking about at the time, and then basically everyone knows they're full of shit.
Yeah.
Whereas in the other case, which has happened to so many people I know, you start talking about shit they don't want you to talk about, they just stop recommending your videos, and they go, well, your account's just not any good, you know?
Right, where it's just like you look at like who watched your video, and it's 98% of our followers and 2% for you.
Yeah, and that's what's fucking scary about it, is like they're going to get to a point where like everything can go speech to text, right? On all platforms.
Yeah.
And there's a dialogue transition, and they'll just have some fucking AI that runs through it and just goes, they talk about Uyghur Muslims. Done. You're fucking out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Needless to say, we're not posting this part of the podcast on
Oh, we
TikTok.
absolutely are. I'm
are.
not posting it on TikTok, but I'll post it on YouTube for sure.
No, on YouTube. We're not posting on TikTok.
Yeah. I mean, I just get nervous because there's some fucking shit that went down while I was over there that I think was pretty, I don't know, pretty fucking crazy. And just like government activity that I wasn't thrilled with. I had a friend get their visa pulled because they were looking into the Three Gorges Dam. on a Fulbright scholarship.
Huh.
Yeah, that was wild. He went to a protest and they tracked his location via the cell phone, and they figured out that he was there and they revoked his visa and sent him home.
Jesus.
It was fucking crazy.
Yeah. I mean, if you're kind of snooping around and all they do is send you home, could have been worse.
Could have been a lot worse.
Could have been worse.
Yeah.
Like if you were snooping around Germany in 1943, I don't think they would have just sent you home.
Yeah.
Like,
see, that's an example that they would use that to get this taken down. They would.
Yeah.
That's what they would use. What you just said. They would go.
yeah, they'd
well,
be like, oh,
it
we're not Hitler. It's
Yeah,
like, well,
exactly.
It's still a genocide.
They'd say we are not. They compared us to Nazis, and because of that, like, dude, that remember one night we were live on TikTok.
Yeah,
at
I
your
started
apartment.
talking about the Holocaust. You're like, you better shut the fuck up.
Well, I said you better shut the fuck up, and then we did get the warning. Do you remember that?
We got the warning?
We got 2 warnings on that night.
Oh, wow.
We got it. They shut down. They didn't shut down the live stream, but they say you're talking about sensitive content. I just don't like neutering stuff. You know, I just like to think like I'm certainly not Bill Hicks or George Carlin by any stretch of the imagination, but I like to think that if they were still here, they would have something to say about this. Just like
sure.
I don't want what I'm talking about to be dictated by like an AI or a government entity. And the fact that they have this much power is crazy because you can just go down the wrong rabbit hole and start talking about shit that they don't want you to talk about, and then you're fucked. I mean, like, dude, look at YouTube. Like, YouTube is effectively, and it's fucked up that it's like this because technically people under 13 aren't supposed to use YouTube, and they've got a YouTube Kids app that's for children, but they want content tailor-made for kids, and they want to, I don't know, they've got a narrative that they want to keep up. They certainly like allow dissent. I'm not saying they're fucking like that at all, but I mean, they've got content that they think works, and they don't want anything that's like too not kid friendly or too offensive. So if you want to say what you actually want to say on there, you could get fucking axed.
Yeah.
And just not have the right to speak at all. It's certainly better than what existed before, right? Like, I go back and forth on this all the time because I think that if this was 1993, right? Like, me and you, we can't do this right now.
Yeah.
What me and you would have to do if we're doing stand-up, we would have had to have moved to L.A. already.
Get on Letterman, get
Exactly.
on Conan or something like that.
You had to go to L.A. It wasn't, like, a choice at all.
Yeah, you get good in your local city, and then you either be a local comic for the rest of your fucking life, or you go to L.A.
Completely. And now you've got this internet thing, which is free and wide open. And I'm extremely grateful for it. I mean, I've done well with it. But at the same time, it's really nerve-wracking knowing that an AI or a government body or a, I don't know, community ethics board at a tech company can just decide that you're fucking done. I'm not into that. You want another drink, by the way? I'll get you one while you go.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's kind of, it's for me, I see both sides of it. Like, I think the counterintuitive nature of it is that people who are generally anti-regulation are now pro-regulation solely within the context of censorship from private companies, when in every other regard they say let private companies do whatever the fuck they want.
Totally.
So
because these tech companies have gotten so big that they can effectively act like a government body. So if you're pro-regulation on the tech company, it's almost like regulate to prevent them from regulating. It's like a conundrum almost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense. It's just like it's counterintuitive in nature, but it makes sense. I mean, the thing is, like, what's scary about TikTok is that, you know, like Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, they don't send data to the government. They're not obligated to send data to the government. If the government wants to sue them for that data, they have to have a really compelling case and they have to win in court.
Totally.
China does not work that way.
Yep.
TikTok has to provide all of the data to the Chinese government.
I think they're claiming they're not doing it, though.
They're claiming they're not, but who the fuck knows? Like, and the scary thing is, like, if it weren't for stand-up and, like, the value out of TikTok, I would not use it at all.
100%.
A, because I hate getting sucked into it, and B, more importantly, the shit that they track is wild. Like, they track your keystrokes on your phone when you're not using the app. Keystrokes on your phone is, for all intents and purposes, every single password you've ever fucking entered on your phone.
I think they were claiming that they weren't doing that, and I think they had to stop. But I think at one point you're correct, they were doing that.
Right.
What freaks me out is like, I don't know, there's a social media company that's not based in the U.S., right? That basically, I get nervous that if I were to touch down over there again, I'm not going back to China. I don't think, just because I'm nervous that they know who I am and what I'm talking about, and it would be a disastrous situation. Like, I'm with you actually completely, because I think the idea that like the government or all of these apps don't track your location and listen to you when you're talking is complete fucking horseshit.
Factual that they do.
Yeah, because I was looking at it and I'm like, okay, maybe they're not listening to everything I'm saying, because that seems insane. And maybe these things are like edge cases, right? The most obvious one for me was two things happened really recently that were like, there's no way this is chance, right? The day I tested positive for COVID. As soon as I got home, I got a notification ad on Facebook being like, if you recently tested positive for COVID, we're running tests here at this laboratory to figure out, like, I don't know how long the antibodies last and all this shit.
Definitely use your location data to know that you either went to a doctor or to know that you got.
No, they read my messages, because I messaged a bunch of people on Facebook Messenger saying, "Hey, we were on a show together. I got COVID."
Yep. If you message people on Facebook, I mean, the thing is, like,
they're reading Facebook Messenger and scanning that to make advertisements. It's like,
yeah, but also the thing is, Facebook Messenger, part of like the default privacy settings is allowing it microphone access. And people have done this. Like, there's this one couple where they thought that, they wanted to see if Facebook was spying on them. And you need it to be controlled, where like if you've Google searched an item at all, then you get advertisements for it. Andy talked about it. You don't know what it's coming from. But they knew that, like, they never Googled or showed any interest online in like hatchets.
yeah.
And then they started just like with Facebook Messenger closed, just their phones on. Or just like, yeah, I've been fucking really wanting to get into hatchets. I want to buy some fucking hatchets. Mm-hmm. Really want to buy some hatchets. And then they start just getting constant ads for hatchets. Not just on Facebook, but like, like when you go on any website and just Amazon's just like, hatchets. That's what happened.
Yeah, dude, the same thing happened to me. The example was I was talking to my friend about going to Minnesota for those shows. Mm-hmm. By the way, come see me at Minnesota in September. It's going to be great. But
see him in Arizona in May, which this will probably be released after, so never mind.
No, we'll do it before.
We'll do it before.
Anyway,
Arizona, May.
I started talking because my boy used to live in Minnesota, and I was talking to him about Minnesota. And that night, I started getting ads about things to do in Minnesota. I hadn't even looked up flight prices or looked up anything about this place.
Yeah.
And they're fucking targeting shit.
Your internet activity in regards to Minnesota before that point was zero.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I just went to fucking...
How's the Topo Chico? Is that good?
It's absolutely revolting. You want to try a sip?
I do. I need
so gross. By the way, if you're out there and you're listening...
It smells horrible.
So fucking gross. It's fucking awful.
It tastes like shitty candy.
It's so bad.
It tastes like
okay, just for all of you fucking...
It tastes like rotten Almond Joy.
This is sort of like an analogy to TikTok, but for you motherfuckers out there, okay, that are in the beverage industry that keep trying to copy our good friends over at Truly, cut the fucking shit, okay? This shit is disgusting.
Gross.
This is Bud Light Hard Seltzer. The Corona ones are nasty.
The Bon and Iver,
dude,
or whatever the fuck that
Bon
is.
and Vive.
Bon and
Iver. You're thinking of Bon Iver. It's revolting, dude. But these fucking things, dude. Oh, Bon and Vive is owned by InBev.
It's disgusting.
It's revolting.
It tastes like just a objectively poorly made vodka soda.
Dude, so just Truly doesn't fucking miss. That's what I respect about them.
Truly and White Claw are the two best, and they have it down. They're just like, all right, malt liquor, seltzer. That's it.
Done.
That's all you need.
Slap it home.
Everyone else, like, oh, it's a Moscow Mule in a can. Like, I don't want that. I don't want to drink 9 Moscow Mules at Dolores Park.
Oh,
I want to drink 15 White Claws.
I love a nice cologne.
and then not remember.
I gotta
what
say,
happened.
this winter I got like what was it? We didn't have a company holiday party, so I got to buy alcohol and just expense it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I bought Kettle One. And I had a handle of Kettle One at my house for the first time. A Kettle One and soda is the greatest drink ever made.
Kettle One's a solid vodka.
Dude.
Kettle One and Tito's, I think, are the two best.
I hate
mixed drinks.
Tito's.
Really?
I fucking hate it. It's gross. It's potato vodka. It's nasty.
Love potatoes.
See, I got a buddy who works at a tequila company,
Mm-hmm.
and he was telling me about Tito's marketing, and they did the smartest thing ever. They just put gluten-free on their vodka. Just wrote gluten-free.
Are they all gluten free or something?
Every vodka is gluten-free.
That's so smart.
Every single one. And so they just go.
We should start a broccoli company where we just
Yeah.
make broccoli and gluten-free broccoli. Everyone,
it's gluten-free.
because every white person in in San Francisco is
But
just
all these-
oh, what kind of broccoli was I eating before?
All these fucking anti-vax moms and fucking keto guys are just like, oh my god, it's fucking gluten-free. Holy shit.
Must be good for you.
They fucking nailed it.
I'll have this and a Michelob Ultra and just have a healthy night of drinking.
Yeah. Mick Ultras are fucking great.
Lobes, not bad.
Not bad. Little day drinking.
Underrated. It's like the Coors Light for 65-year-olds who play golf.
A golf beverage.
Yeah.
That's what we should have done. Go golfing today.
Still can.
Yeah, let's fucking go. I'm into it.
We'll bring all the gear.
All of this shit, dude. I mean, you guys can't really see around what's going on in the rest of this apartment, but this is like a professional ass fucking shoot right here.
It looks pretty
Zach
good.
put the shit together.
Yeah,
but
you can't see it, but couple cameras. I mean, you can see the quality of our faces. Quality faces.
Quality faces. I mean, I'm better looking than Zach, but aside from that, everything's going well.
Yeah, my teeth aren't chipped, so I got that going for
me. You know what
Is
I
that
found?
too far? I thought
No,
that was
you were
funny.
great, dude. Did I tell you I went to the dentist?
No.
I went to the dentist and I called in and I tried to make an appointment and they went, okay, we can get you in at this time. I go, great. And I go, just curious, when was the last time that I came in? And they go, 2015. And so I haven't been to the dentist in 6 years.
Wow.
And no cavities.
Holy shit.
No cavities, no dental visits for 5 years, and I chewed tobacco for 4 out of those 5 years.
Wow.
Nothing.
You should have fewer than 32 teeth.
I know. I fucking nailed it.
No.
How many cavities have you had?
Countless.
You have
Countless cavities, and it's funny because I am obnoxiously obsessive over my teeth.
Oh, I'm aware.
But I just have
This,
very.
can I
deep
tell you guys the
grooves.
fucking nerdiest thing about Zach? Zach fucking still wears his retainer.
I have to.
No, you don't. They tell
I
you
do.
have to. It's a lie. Like
If
the masks.
I'm not bullshitting. if I do not wear my retainer for 2 days,
Shut off. It's
Yeah, we
okay.
just shut off.
We'll figure it out. Keep going.
If I do not wear my retainer for 2 days, my bottom teeth are noticeably out of alignment, and when I put the retainer back in, they're super super tight. We'll be right back.
And we're fucking back.
We're back, baby.
What's up? We we both have real jobs, some of which call during the day, so we had to jump on that real quick. We have real jobs that we could lose, which is why we should discuss Tony fucking Hinchcliffe right
my
off
God.
the bat. Let's go. Yeah. Dude, I'm going to go out on a limb real quick and just say one fucking thing about this guy, dude. Not Tony, but his fucking opener. Look, what Tony said was fucked up, right? But if I was ever headlining a show and somebody was recording their own set, left it running, filmed all the way into my set and a minute into my set, and then posted my shit, I would be fucking furious, dude. Even if it's fucking racist and fucked up, you don't get to just take what somebody else said and post it on the internet. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not into it. I'm not into it at all.
I get what you're saying, where it's he's. I don't know. I mean, that's the.
It's tough.
It's tough because, he never should have been recorded in the first place. But it's kind of like if you robbed a bank and you got caught by the video footage. It's a little different because you know that a bank is recording. I get how that's different, but it's I mean, at the end of the day, even though he was caught on a camera that he didn't expect to be caught on, you shouldn't say that stuff.
Yeah.
It's just a wildly reckless and stupid thing to say, and also not funny.
Here's the thing, right? So Richard Pryor basically, I forget the exact quote, but he was like, look, you can say whatever you want on stage. You can talk about any topic, in my opinion, as long as you're funny, right?
Yeah.
But I think Pryor didn't really understand or like account for like modern times, right?
Yeah.
Like his idea is, okay, you're going to go up, you're going to say some shit, you're going to bomb sometimes. When you put together like your finished product, your like end special, talk about whatever you want, but it's got to be funny. I don't think he really understood that like in the modern day, when you're working through sets, it's going to be fucking every single set. Somebody's got a camera on.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody could record you while you're just like working out and then post it up. Like again, I'm not fucking defending what Tony said. Like,
I think that like there's more layers to what Richard Pryor said now versus then because of technology. I also think it's just also from like society growing and like being less tolerant of intolerance, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But like now it's like if you want to say something racial, I think there's three main criteria. A, it has to be funny. If it's not funny, it's just racist. Even if it's not racist and it's racial, if it's racial and not funny, it's just racist. For the most part, you know, there's no ground there. But it has to be funny. It has to be clear that it's coming from a not hateful place.
yeah.
Like if you're doing funny hate speech, it's not funny. And also it has to be like not inspiring any like violence towards that group.
So I don't think he's inspiring any violence towards that group, but I think like, dude, Tony basically like called the crowd race traitors for laughing at that guy's jokes, right? And he was just like, I was puking in a bucket watching your guys' behavior. He was obviously going for a joke there. Like it was pretty obvious he was going for a joke. That was a shit joke. Like, I mean, but if you've ever watched Kill Tony before, like Tony's podcast, he's basically going for roast jokes for an hour every single night. Yeah. And a few of them are going to swing and miss really fucking bad. That was just a brutal swing and miss recorded for eternity.
And also, aside from the fact that he missed, like, it did not help him that we're in an era right now of like horrible hate crimes against Asian Americans. Like, if he did that shit 2 years ago, he probably would have gotten away with it, or at least like the repercussions wouldn't be as severe as they are now. But like at the same time, though, like whether or not it was a swing in the miss, like saying the CH word on stage when you're referring to the prior comic who is Asian, pretty poor judgment.
It's dumb judgment.
Like, I mean,
I don't know. I think it's like it was without a doubt a shitty joke, and it's fucking racist. But at the end of the day, I think like I don't know, that show that Tony has consistently puts on and like advances black comics, Asian comics, people with disabilities.
Yeah, I mean that's
gender queer people, trans people, like they're all on the show. They're all expecting to get roasted like to an extent. I don't think like if you're an Asian guy, you should work with someone and like have to deal with being called, you know, that shit.
Yeah, nobody should have to deal with being like treated differently because of their race.
But if I were to take a bet on this, like just a bet, based on what I've heard about Tony, I would guess that he was a fucking nice guy to the kid after the show. I bet my bottom fucking dollar on it. It doesn't excuse what he did, but I bet you he's fucking cool to him, and I bet you he's put on a bunch of fucking comics.
Yeah, and but being nice to someone, and that like if my grandma's nice to a black server and then calls them the N-word, she's a racist. Yeah, she's not a nice person. That's never happened.
There's also a huge difference between like somebody walking away and you calling them, you know, whatever the fuck. If you don't know what we're talking about, look at the video. But what Tony called that kid, right? When they walk away and he's not hearing, he goes, that fucking shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like whispers that about him, like with malicious intent. That's fucked up. That's definitively racist. But if you're going on stage and going for a shitty bit, that's like low hanging fruit, not funny. It's like, yeah, you fucked up and you're done. But it's like, dude, it's what sucks about this, right? And what's fucked up about the way that kid handled it is this guy, fucking Tony Hinchcliffe, just got dropped by his agency.
Did he really?
He got dropped by his agency. All the movie roles he had upcoming, not happening anymore. Rogan pulled him off of his shows because I feel like he fucking has to.
Here's the way that I see that, though.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's like The thing is, like with cancel culture, it's just like that's like what people call it, but it's just like free. It's just public opinion and capitalism. Like if you're the movie producer, you don't want, like, even if Chris D'Elia did technically nothing illegal, you don't want somebody who has a public image of of being like in their mid-late 30s and constantly fucking 18-year-olds. It's legal. It's not illegal to do that. It's just really slimy, and people are going to dislike the guy. And if you have the option of putting him in the movie, or a guy with an unblemished record of like PR wise, you're going to go with the guy who doesn't have any negative stuff. And it's the same with Tony Hinchcliffe. Like if you're the agency, it's like, yeah, it's not illegal what he did. It's like, maybe it's hate speech, and it's certainly poor judgment at best. But for them, it's like, yeah, he doesn't bring in enough money. It's not worth the risk.
No, I get it completely. And I think it's almost impossible to like truly cancel someone now. Like, you can cancel people, and ruin their lives for a little bit, right? Make their lives miserable for a long period of time. But at the end of the day, Tony's going to be on Patreon at some point. They'll find a venue that wants to do that. Yeah. Wants to do a show.
Some hurting comedy club will underpay him.
100%. Yeah. I mean, well, it's not even going to be hurting comedy clubs. It's like that fan base. I really don't think a large majority of Kill Tony fans are going to be like, I'm done with him for this.
We know somebody who defended the video without seeing it.
Well, people do that shit all the time.
Yeah.
But what I'm also saying is, look, they can take you down. Let's say, hypothetically, you've got like a Netflix special, right?
Yeah.
You can pull the Netflix special. You've still got a podcast, Patreon, YouTube, Instagram, all this shit. It's like the only people that can effectively cancel people right now are technology companies. That's it. They're the only ones.
Yeah, that's true. Like Chris D'Elia is back on TikTok, and he's probably making money hand over fist because he still has a fuck ton of followers.
Yeah.
Like Louis C.K. could start putting his shit on TikTok. TikTok's not going to take down Louis C.K.'s stuff. In fact, people who are obviously not Louis C.K. are posting his jokes
constantly.
That's one thing I can't stand on TikTok, is that like there's no copyright or like intellectual property regulation. Like there's accounts that just like, oh, it's just at stand-up clips, and they just post a bunch of stand-up clips from Bill Burr, Dave Chappelle, Louis C.K., and they have like hundreds of thousands of followers and make thousands of dollars just by posting other people's shit that they don't own.
100%.
Really frustrating to see that.
I don't know if they make money because they might get denied to get in like the creator fund and shit.
That's true. They probably look at their content.
What is obnoxious about it too is like, it's all right. So somebody posted this video, which was like that Moves Like Jagger song, right? Like the Maroon 5 thing, that song. And it was like on a pan flute. So it sounded like it was from the 1500s. And so somebody goes, oh, after the masks are done in 1500 from the plague and everybody gets to go back to the pub, and it was just somebody in rags like dancing around, right? And I looked how many times that sound had been used. And it's like 100,000 times. Like people have made like 100,000 different copies of this fucking video.
Yeah.
And I've seen it happen with my bits where I'm totally fine with people duetting my shit, but people will just rip my joke and like rewrite it all the time.
Very annoying.
It happens all the fucking time.
Yeah.
All the time. And there's nothing that you can do about it. And people don't really care unless it's like a major creator account. Like there are some people who will like do exposés on people and be like, this person's a thief. You can see they copied this video and this video, and everybody will just light them up.
Yeah, once you make it big, if you have instances of stealing material, that shit will come back.
It'll fucking kill you. But
yeah, look at Carlos Mencia's career. He was like one of the most successful stand-up comedians, making the most money because he had Mind of Mencia, and then all it took was Joe Rogan annihilating him at a live show and just exposing him completely for stealing his jokes, and overnight his career ended. He was like very much canceled. Yeah. His career went from being one of the most sought after in comedy to being non-existent.
Non-existent at all.
Haven't heard of him since.
Yeah, he's trying to like crawl back in now, basically like through the podcasting scene. But dude, I just think there's a heavy amount of like on social media just from jokes. It's like it doesn't even feel like it's intellectual property at all because people will just tweak it and steal it and remake the same meme over and over again. And then on top of that, just like people's appetite for entertainment is completely changing. Like there's no there's no like storytelling arc in anything anymore. There's just minute-long podcasting or minute-long fucking video clips.
Yeah.
And I really wish people liked, or like really had a tolerance for like long-form entertainment. You know, like something like it would be interesting.
Too short, yeah.
Dude, it would be interesting to see like somebody try to make something like The Sopranos or The Wire right now. And just see how it goes. Like, could people actually watch that and sit through that?
Closest thing we've had to that recently is probably Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and they fucking blew it at the end.
It
was great.
Yeah, but like the early part was just like such like a well done like slow burn where you're eventually just wrapped up in it. Mm-hmm. But the first like I'd give it a shot like 3 times. Like,
which one?
Game of Thrones. Like I watched the first episode. I'm like, this is horse shit.
No fucking way.
Yeah, and then like I'm
wait,
like,
were you not watching it when it was on?
I watched it. I caught up to the point where I was watching it while it was on, but like I was a few years behind. Like I started watching season 1 when season 3 was out.
Yeah,
and my friends are like, "Yeah, like watch season 1." They're like, "It's slow, but just stick with it." I watch episode 1, and I'm like, "There's 85 fucking characters. I don't have a clue what any of their names are. I don't know what's going on." Like he pushed the kid out of the window. I don't know anything about.
Was that the first episode?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, and then like, so I'm like, fuck that. Months later, I'm like, I'll give it another shot. Mm-hmm. Try it again. I'm like, all right, this show's legit.
It's very
Once
legit.
they cut off Ned Stark's head, you're like, I'm in.
Yeah. I mean, dude, yeah, I think like something like that. I fucking loved Thrones. I watched the whole thing. I read the books, as everyone who's read the books.
Nobody's ever read the books and not mentioned it.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever read the books and just kept it to themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. You're always very pretentious about it. But I don't know, dude. I'm going to be interested to see where like entertainment goes, because I think if it just continues to be minute-long entertainment, like, it's just so unsatisfying after a little bit, because it becomes like the only thing that you can process after a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like if you watch TikToks all day and then try to watch TV, like it's not engaging or fast enough for you.
Can't do it.
So you got to go back to watching TikToks, but it's just the minute-long feedback loop, so it's not satisfying in any way. You're not really enjoying it, you know? There's no build-up. Like building something up for 10 episodes like Thrones would do in a season, or like The Sopranos would do. That's just not something you can really get away with anymore.
Or like Dexter.
Yeah.
I
fucking hate Dexter.
Dexter, that's right.
Dexter's such a dog shit TV show. I'm sorry for all the fucking Dexter fans out there, but
it's
dude,
a good
people
show.
in like 2007 could not. They watched the like 24, Dexter, Prison Break. The fact that people like Prison Break actively pisses me off.
First 2 seasons of Prison Break were sick.
Dude, the guy who plays the main guy, what's his name? Like Michael Schofield or something? Is that the character's name?
I think that's the character's name, not the actor.
Okay, that guy can't fucking act.
Well, it's like his character is always so one-dimensional. It's always just like, yeah, I'm a serious guy.
Everything's
very
serious.
Reserved,
I have maps
very
tattooed on my
reserved.
back.
It's like, you can't emotionally see through me. It's like, that's just
I
how a bad
fucking
actor
hated
would
that
play
TV
a character.
show. I thought like the whole thing, just like it was an interesting thing. Like, oh, let's go get my brother out of prison. Dope. Just like the two brothers, 2 of the worst actors on planet Earth. I'll stick by that. There's a reason the guy who played the fucking dude from Prison Break hasn't been in anything since. He was in
The Flash, which is another not good show with terrible acting.
Yeah. He's an ass actor.
Prison Break, like, it was entertaining. Like, there was one, like, winter break in college where I was just bored. I'm just like, I'll watch all of Prison Break on Netflix. Mm-hmm. Season 3 started, like, oh, they're at a new prison. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm done.
They get him out of the prison.
Yeah, they get him out of the prison.
He breaks out of the prison.
Yeah, it's in the title.
Yeah. He's like, well, we're going to I remember, I will admit, I watched up to the 3rd season as well. And you're just like,
so it was entertaining enough to stick with it.
Yeah. Dude, fucking just like, and then you got the other one, fucking Dexter, dude. Dexter, okay, he's a serial killer. It's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting, right? And then there's that like Trinity Killer season, and you're like, that's the first season where I'm like, okay, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
And then they end the season, and it's just like his wife is murdered in the bathtub, and you're just like, fucking come on, like this is so stupid.
No, that was a great end.
His wife getting murdered in the bathtub
by the Trinity Killer.
It's such ass, dude.
I don't know about that.
He's fucking just now. She was also the worst too. I could not, like, dude, I would get so annoyed. She's just like, Dexter.
You're not present enough at home. He's like, I'm supporting all of your kids, none of whom are mine.
None of them are mine.
Like, I knocked you up. You wanted to keep it. I didn't even argue.
Yeah.
Didn't even argue. I just said, yeah, I'll raise 3 kids. I'll raise 3 kids on a state government salary.
Yeah.
I think forensics guys make enough to support 3 kids, 2 of whom are
In
not
Miami.
theirs. In Miami, buy a new place for the wife. Dexter was definitely in debt. All for Rita.
Yeah. Maybe he stole the people's money from the people he killed. Maybe that's why he did it.
That would have been lucrative.
Yeah. I fucking hated that show also because Dexter's sister,
Terrible.
Deb,
Terrible actress.
one of the worst actresses of all time.
Oh, Dexter, what do you mean you're killing people?
Yeah. She's banging that old guy too the whole time. Yeah.
The guy who looks like Jordan Peterson.
Yeah. What you have to do. Yeah. All right.
He's like, Deborah, I can't marry you. There's transgender women in sports playing right now.
Unfucking real. Starts telling her to make her bed.
Back to track the Trinity killer. Word on the street is that he's a transgender power lifter with an unfair advantage.
Dude, that fucking show too with the what's the little Asian guy's name that's supposed to be like the funny creep?
Masuka?
Yeah, aged so poorly.
Oh yeah,
They're just
it's like, oh, he's rapey.
Yeah.
Like, 05, you can get away with that shit.
Yeah. The funny
Not anymore.
The funny side character is a little rape.
Yeah. He's just like, have you read those forensics? He's like, I can't. I'm going to get roofies. It's like 2010. People were like, this is good comedy. What a great show.
This is great. People's sense of humor in 2010 was a little bit different.
Not good.
You know what? I would say it's better than right now, though, in a weird thing, like, because the shows that were good, right? Like, Sopranos is fucking funny.
Yeah.
Sopranos is fucking hilarious, and it's not a comedy.
Yeah.
But also, like, back in that era, people actually made comedies. Like, super bad.
Yeah.
The last good comedy that I've seen was Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. I thought that was fucking hilarious.
I haven't even heard of that until right now, but I need to check it out.
We should watch it after this.
Honestly, like, I don't think... I can't really think of the last, like, phenomenal comedy movie I've seen since, like...
Step Brothers.
Yeah, since, like, Step Brothers, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, Get Him to the Greek era. Like, high school. I like... Even, like, people... Like, I was talking to Chet about this. He's like, oh, yeah, This Is the End is the last good comedy. I'm like, I didn't even think it was that great.
It was all right.
It was just, I mean, for having 25 actors in it who could normally just do a movie by themselves, not a very good movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the movie sucks.
Like, the only great parts of it were when Michael Cera's just getting...
Actually, I'm kidding. That movie doesn't suck. I just can't remember it.
It doesn't suck. It's just not...
I was in
it's just
fun
overhyped.
story about that. I was in Vietnam and we pirated that movie in Vietnam. And but we found out that you could get like basically the Vietnamese equivalent of Xanax at these like convenience stores.
Oh, wow.
We were just fucked up watching This Is the End.
Slept through the whole movie.
I could not tell you what it was about. That was the last time I saw it.
Yeah. I mean, the movie's like, it's all right. It's just that's the gold standard of comedy movies these days, and it's not a very high bar.
I would say like, dude, the absolute peak was who's the dude from Sarah Marshall? What's his name again?
Jason Segel.
Like Will Ferrell, Jason Segel, all those guys when they were at their peak, like right around 2010.
Yeah,
that was the best.
That's when like The Other Guys came out. One of the best comedies ever.
Dude, my favorite comedy of all time is Step Brothers. I fucking love Step Brothers.
I think Step Brothers might be my number one, and I think The Other Guys is probably number two. At least for Will Ferrell movies, for me it's Step Brothers, Other Guys, and then probably Old School number 3.
Nice.
Talladega Nights, not a big fan. Everyone loves it. I
haven't seen it in a while.
It's just all low hanging fruit.
That's what Will Ferrell movies are, Zach.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the whole thing. Yeah.
The Other Guys is actually well written though. Like there's a lot of like clever fucking jokes in there.
Yeah, The Other Guys. I haven't seen it in a fucking while, but all right,
worth it.
We should wrap this thing up because we're gonna end up editing the video and going back and forth, and I'm realizing we're probably pushing. And what are we at right now? Half hour on this one?
Half hour.
20 minutes. Oh, we're only at 20 minutes.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we've only been doing it for like an hour. We have more time.
Cracked an hour.
As long as we don't keep like if we're we edit this, we're just like, oh, we talked about movies for the last 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Just becomes the shitty
I
Rotten
completely
Tomatoes.
forgot what the main thing that we should have discussed too was basically starting comedy in the South Bay.
Oh yeah.
South Bay, San Francisco.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Okay.
All right. So
So for those of you who, I mean, pretty much everyone watching this have no idea, but Joe and I met by doing stand-up in the South Bay. So like San Jose, Palo Alto area. We were talking about it earlier today, and I mean, San Francisco is one of the best places to do comedy if you're not in.
Dude, I keep forgetting, like, in doing this podcast, I keep, like, talking to whoever's out there and not to you because I'm, like, new at doing this. You know what I mean? Do you ever do that where you're just, like, for you guys out there, I'm just, like, fuck, I keep forgetting to.
Like, knowing the audience, you're like, oh, they know all about the South Bay open mics.
No, not knowing the audience. Fucking, oh, my God, my goddamn camera just shut off.
Should we just call it here? Yeah, we can call it. All right. Joe Beg's getting the frame. That was an abrupt end, but we're calling the Joe Begley open. Joe Begley.
Oh, yeah, let's plug our
podcast.
stuff. Zach, where are we going?
We are going to Phoenix, Arizona for Memorial Day weekend.
Goddamn right.
Show Thursday, 2 Friday, 2 Saturday, 1 Sunday. 6 shows, 4 nights. House of Comedy in Arizona in Desert Ridge.
These shows will sell out.
They will.
They won't, but come out anyway.
They might sell out.
Urgently get tickets anyway.
This podcast goes viral in the next 1 week. They're selling out.
Let's go.
They're selling out.
It's going to be a viral podcast. It's great. They're going to talk about how racist I am for defending Tony Hinchcliffe.
Get Zach fired 2021 and Joe.
Yeah.
Get this podcast viral.
They say when you get a nice, well-paying 6-figure job, what you should do is go on podcasts, defend racists, and talk about doing drugs.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that.
Watch one of us get fired for the wrong thing. Like one of our bosses just like, I don't know how you didn't like Dexter.
Yeah.
It's like I can stand by the Tony Hinchcliffe thing, but that does conclude the podcast. Joe, any final remarks?
Yeah, Arizona, and then that's it. So that's it. Yeah. Goodbye.
Later.